Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Tuesday and we are going to actually do a full review of the Arrtx 126 colors and get that out of the way for the week. Um, the new Arrtx are of course the hottest thing on the market right now, so I wanted to get this out there so that you guys would have all of the information, and of course there's other YouTubers out there as well that are also giving information. So I have gone through and of course swatched them. I've rearranged them. So as you saw, I swatched them directly out of the box as soon as I got them on Sunday. I have gone through, rearranged them, and put them in my color order, the order that I want them in, and also put them in a bag, in a pencil case. The reason why I did this is because A, they come in two different boxes, which makes sorting and finding pencils a little bit more difficult. And B, they have the same sort of flimsy system to hold the pencils in place. This one here is actually even looser than the 72 set. So I don't like the little flimsy, it would have been better if they actually connected them and left them connected, but they didn't. And that's, their design, their choice, that sort of thing. Personally, I wish they would have listened to the community when they told them that this system doesn't work very well. So I have taken them out of the box and I have put them in my pencil case. I'll show you my pencil case. So on the box, let's talk about the box for a minute. So we've seen the inside of the box. Like I showed you, the pencils do have issues being in the box, being really floppy. Now, if you flip the pencils other way around, so it's not the point or the lead pointing down, it will give you a little bit more stability having the flatter end on the butt of the pencil. So you could do that and get a little bit more stability that way. I just personally, I just don't like it. So I just I I like my pencil holders, and they do hold the pencils quite well and quite securely. I just don't feel, that's like sticking them in a piece of foam rubber and saying, okay, there you go, that's good. It's just, yeah, I just can't do it. So, the information on the box. Of course, when you get the box, there's this wonderful, wonderful picture on the front. It is so cute. I just love the pictures on the front of this. The blue one is the same way, which is 72 set. Really, really cute, adorable, adorable picture. So you'll be able to tell the difference between them because this one's green and the 72 set is blue. It has 126 colors in it. Now there are two colors that are not in here from the 72 set. That is the chartreuse yellow and the shortbread. So those two colors are not in here. However, they're really close to some of the colors that are in here. So if you don't have the 72 set, you're not really missing them. But if you do have the 72 set, basically you add them to this set and you've got, 128 pencils with 70 duplicates. So it has a good swatch area on the back here. It tells you the color number as well as gives you a little color dot. Tells you where they are located, um, as well as where they're designed. And of course gives you the places that you can look them up either on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. And that's pretty much the bulk of it. So there's a June Bright in England, That is the representative for Arrtx in the UK. And the e-commerce representative is located here in Germany. So the company itself is in China, in Guangdong, in the Sichuan province in China. So that's all of the information on the box. There is no further information on the box. Of course, you can look these up on their website. It does give you more information on the website. All right, so let's take a look at the pencils. So as you saw yesterday, because I did use them yesterday, I do have them in a case. The pencils themselves go to a set of fluorescents, which is great. And they're pretty pencils. It does have, I'm going to switch you over to the close-up camera here so you can see a little better. This is not those pencils. That's a different set. These ones over here. So they do have little stars all the way up them, the same as the original 72 set. The same as the original 72 set, they do have very, very small numbers. And then, of course, the color name. So the color name is a lot easier to see than the little small numbers. I did have to use my cell phone to zoom in so that I could see the numbers while doing my swatch chart. So we have our white, black, silver, and gold. And then we have our yellows. Oh, I'm on the wrong camera. Sorry, guys. I'll switch back over here. So we have our white, black, silver, gold, and then our yellows. And then from our yellows, we go into our oranges, from our oranges into our pinks, and then into our reds. And from our reds into our purples into our blues into our greens, and then our greens into our browns, browns into our grays, and then the three fluorescents at the end. I have swatched them, so if you want to grab your cup of coffee and sit back and relax and watch the swatch, it will take approximately 3 or 4 minutes. So sit back, relax, enjoy your coffee, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. So here we have our swatch chart, and as you can see there, the alignment of the colors I have moved around a little bit. In the box itself, they do come quite well sorted out directly out of the box. So of course you don't have to change around too much. It does, however, go from yellow to blue, which I don't like, so I put it yellow to orange. And the pinks are separated. So there's these light pinks here, and then there's some more pinks here. I put those together. This one here I moved. So I did move quite a few of them around to put them in a color order that works best for my brain. And this is what we have accomplished. Now, the reason why this one is here and this one is here instead of this one here being over here is because these ones here are more of a reddy brown. I didn't want to put these two right next to each other because this one here has way more red in it. It's a darker version of the Venetian and the terracotta. And these ones here are more of a black brown. And that's why those are like that. All right, so let us do our testing. So of course I have put my test information on there, and we're going to grab our blue. So let's see, let's grab, I think we used True Blue last time. Let's use Cerulean Blue this time. Make sure we're pulling from the right ones. So we'll grab the Cerulean Blue. Maybe. Delft Ocean. There it is. There's our Cerulean Blue. Then we're going to grab our red. So we're going to use, let's use Chili Pepper, just because it's a nice deep red. Very, very definite red. And that's this one here. It's a very bright red. So we've got blue, chili pepper, and we're going to use lemon yellow. Well, actually that's got a little bit of green in it, so let's use this one. This is light yellow. Alright, so we've got our yellow, blue, and green. Or yellow, blue, and red, sorry. And I'm going to switch it over to the close-up camera so that we can see what we're doing. Grab my water pen as well, because we're going to need that. Alright, so here are our pencils. Now this one here, the wood does seem to have a little bit of an anomaly in it, but it doesn't seem to affect it at all. So I have sharpened these, so, well, some of them anyway. And I'm going to give a quick sharpen. And I'm using the Tegal on number 3, just to give it a bit of a sharpen. And my Tegal's dirty. So let's see, what other sharpener do we have? Let's try the Prisma sharpener. Now the Prisma sharpener is not one of my favorites. I do find it's one of those sharpeners that I tend to break pencils with. So that's not too bad. There we go. Oh, and of course, you know, it pops open. Why did it do that? There. Because I didn't have it on right. All right, so there's our blue. Now we're going to use our yellow. Oh, that's weird. I don't like that. Let's see if that does any better in here. There's a little bit of a weirdness going on with my yellow, but hopefully it doesn't crumble or anything like that. All right, so let's start with yellow. And we will cover this whole thing. Now, of course, we're going to cover this the same way we would if we were coloring something, and then going to add a um, an, enhancement to it with that is a water base, such as stickles or anything else like gel pen, watercolor paint, anything that has a water base to it. We're going to brush that away, make sure that we don't leave any little bits of anything there. And they are covering very nicely. Like I said, I did color with these yesterday in Art Matters, which is not a coloring book. So, and it's not a good grade of paper. It's a reading book paper. And they did actually very, very nicely in the Art Matters. So I'm just going to put it in a second layer here. Get that fully covered. Sorry if I seem a little breathy. For some reason, feeling short of breath today. I don't know why. I feel a little stressed today. I don't know. It's weird. Don't like it. And it makes me feel like I'm out of breath, which I really don't like. All right. I don't know why I'm feeling stressed today, though. Probably because I didn't get any sleep. Shyla has decided that I must be awake every 30 minutes. So almost every time I started falling asleep throughout the night, she woke me up. Like she woke me up 6 times last night. It was horrible. And good luck trying to sleep. All right, so now we've oh, that's not water. Grabbed the wrong one. This one's water. That one was glycerin. I don't think that's going to work well for me. All right, so I've got my water pen, and I'm going to put a drop of water on my hand here so you can see that there is water in the pen. And then we're just going to gently run the pen over the yellow. And there is some movement. And then over the red, which is what we found with the originals as well, that there is movement in the pigment when it comes to adding water to it. So do make sure that when you are finished with your coloring, that you cover it with a blender. The Caran d'Ache Bright Stick is a fantastic blender for this. It does seal it with a bit of wax, which in turn makes it a little bit more water resistant. All right, so there's our water test, and it, like I said, it does move with the water. All right, so let's do our smudge test. Again, we're just going to put down the pencil the same way that we do. while we're coloring in the same depth. The reason why I do a smudge test is, as you can see where my hand is now, I lay my hand down on the page while I'm coloring. And when I'm moving my hand, it smudges back and forth over top of the paper. And if the pencil moves with that hand movement, I can end up with odd colors mixing together in areas that I don't want them to be mixed together in. So this is why I do the smudge test. Again, if this does smudge, the best way to eliminate that smudge is to use a blender and blend your colors before you start moving on to the next area. So work in smaller sections, get your whole area done, and then move on to the next before you rub your hand across an area. Make sure that you do your blending. Try different blenders, see which ones work best for you. Like I said, I find with the Caran d'Ache blender, it works the best for eliminating that movement. I just really like the Caran d'Ache blender. It is my go-to. All right. Just putting down a couple of layers, filling in as much of that white spot as I can. These are quite a soft pencil, so you can definitely squish the pigment onto the page. So if I press a little harder, I can fill that in very quickly, like so. Same with the red here. I put just a bit of pressure on it, I can push that into the page. All right, going to dust that off. And then we're going to just take our finger, and as you can see, there's nothing on my finger, and we're just going to gently move, well, not even really gently, because let's be serious here. When we're moving our hand, we're not worried about how dainty we are doing it. The yellow doesn't seem to move a whole lot. The red's not too bad either. It does move a slight bit, but not a whole lot. Still not something that I would want moving around on my page. So I would definitely suggest doing a blender on them. All right, so now we're going to do a 3-color blend. And let's do this one, this one, and this one. Let's do a purple. We're going to do a purple blend. So we're going to start with the lightest. And we're going to build the color up a little bit, and then we're going to smush it together. So we're leaving that tail open for the next color. And then we go into this one. And then into this one. Now I have never found any issues with these pencils blending together, so I didn't expect to find any issues with them blending together this time either, because it is um, the same composition. They haven't changed their recipes. They may have changed or added some colors, but they haven't changed the way that they do their pencils, which is great. All right. So I'm just filling in that white spot a little bit and just smushing those colors together at this point. Like so. And then we're just going to take the lightest color and just blend it all together. And there we have our 3-color blend. And you don't see any major transition lines. You can definitely see the progression from light, medium to dark, which is what we want to see, which is awesome. All right, so we're going to do our rainbow blend. Now our rainbow blend is when you take your primary colors, which are red, blue, and yellow, and when you go from red to yellow, it needs to make orange. When you go from yellow to blue, it needs to make green. All right, so the reason why I do this is in case I'm missing a color or I only have a very limited amount of colors in a set where I can create other colors. Because if they don't blend together to create those colors, you know that the other colors that you would need to create color, it won't do the color creation. So I'm starting off with red. And like I said, this is chili red. And I do this for every set so that, if I have a certain project in mind, I can look at the back of the page and say, okay, this set will do what I want it to do. Or this set won't do what I want it to do. I need to find a different set. So I'm going to just bring that red in with a little tail there. Like so. And then we're going to bring in our yellow, and we're going to go into the red. And then we're going to start building that orange color. And we're going to add a little bit more red. And more yellow. Now I'm going to start pressing a little bit harder on the yellow and blending that color in. Just mashing it in there, which has created that orange. Add a little bit more red. And the more red and yellows that you add, the deeper or the lighter orange that you get. Now I want a fairly deep orange. So that's why I'm adding a little bit more. Now in order to get a peach orange tone or a light orange tone, you can definitely do that by using pink instead of red. All right, now we're going to do our yellow. I'm going to make sure that I wipe off any red that's on my pencil. Come into our yellow. And then we're going to put a tail here for the blue to go into. And then we're going to take our blue. We're going to go right into that yellow. And with this specific blue, we're going to get a, looks like an aqua type of green. Of course, different blues will give you different greens. The lighter the blue, the lighter the green. The more yellow you add and that sort of thing, the more of a teal green that you'll get. Or a yellow green, that sort of thing. So this is turning into a very lovely green, nice dark green. And as you can see, the closer it gets into the yellow, the lighter the green. Alright, let's do a little bit more blue. The more blue, the darker the green. And just for giggles, because we already know that this is going to do what we want it to do, we're going to take our blue, we're going to come out a little, like so, and then we're going to take our red, and we're going to go into our blue. We're going to come out a little. So what this will do as we build that color is it will make it a purple. But we have to build that color first. Now I don't usually do the purple because usually it does turn out quite dark and it's hard to see. But there's definitely a blend of color there. So there we have it. There is our rainbow from red to orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. So it did do the rainbow blend. Let's grab our um, let us grab the dark purple here, which is orchid purple. This isn't the darkest purple I have. This is just a nice red violet color. And I'm just going to do a heavy layer of the dark. This one we're going to blend with the white pencil that comes with the set. Now remember, with your white pencils, when you go over a color, the white is going to dull out some of that color. So then we're going to go in with the lilac. We're just going to butt it right in there. And we're going to go a bit heavier as well, because I don't want the white to completely dull it out. Alright. Then we're going to grab our white. So we have our white pencil here. And starting from our light into our dark. So it does blend it together, does eliminate that blend line a little bit, gives you a little bit of progression there. But again, it also dulls out your color. I'm just going to remove that striation. And it does dull it down, which is fine in some instances. Sometimes I do that just because I want that color to be dulled down. So that isn't a big deal. The big deal is whether or not you can press those colors together to seamlessly bring them into one color, which it does do quite well. All right, so I'm going to use the blender, and we're going to do orange. We're going to do red and yellow to make orange. So I'm going to start with the red. Like so. And make sure that I put down a good layer. And then we're going to go in with the yellow. Get some of that blue off there. So as you can see, the yellow is picking up the colors and moving them on their own as well. So if you don't want to move a deeper color such as red or blue with a lighter color, try not to go over top of it, or make sure you wipe your pencil before you go into it. Alright. So I want this area here to be yellow, and this area here to be orange. And I'm just going to add a little bit more red. So we're going to start at the lightest area first, and we're going to move it into the dark area. So we're going to start here, and we're using the Caran d'Ache Bright Stick. And we've eliminated most of the white spot, if not all of it, and progressed that color into each other, creating that transition. So we have a yellow, orange, and red transition there. Now you can also go this way just to clean it up a little bit more. Such as that. Make sure you dust it off, otherwise you'll drag that color around with you. So yeah, it definitely covered up all of that white spot, as well as transition those colors together. Now the cost of these pencils is $54.99 for 126 pencils, which does work out to be approximately 43 cents a pencil, which is not too bad. For a pencil that works this well, it's pretty good. Definitely budget friendly. I do say that they definitely move with water. They do smudge, and of course they do blend together quite well, both with white and blender, as well as just with themselves, which is fantastic. I have colored with them, and again, like I said, this is on non-coloring book paper, and I think it did very, very nicely on non-coloring book paper. I do have the ability to put in little flicks for grass, blend in colors together to make the greens, as well as the browns, the reds, and the blues. And then, of course, the light streams. So I think they did very well in coloring as well as in the testing. So with the smudge test and the water test, these are both tests that are done solely because I use gel pens, glitter paint, stickles, watercolor backgrounds, things like that, just to tell me whether or not I need to blend with a blender or a spray before I put down that watercolor. Now, if you are a person that sprays your work after you're done, such as say you're using pastels for your background, and you spray a fixative on your page, please leave it laying flat until it's dry. You may find that your color will pool or drip a little bit if you don't. Yeah. So that is about it with the um, testing part. I'm going to color a couple of little flowers here just to show you that even on cardstock they do quite nicely. I'm going to switch over to the close-up. So we're going to color this flower section here. And then I think I'll call this review reviewed. I typically do a first impressions and a final impressions. However, I've already owned these pencils in the 72 set. And like I said, beyond the fact that there's more colors, there's not a lot of difference. There is no difference in the pencils themselves. Personally, I would suggest if you are looking for a budget-friendly pencil, this set is a really good set for an alternative, or as an, what is the words I'm looking for? As an option. There we go. It's definitely a really nice option. They do behave somewhat like a Prismacolor. However, they are a bit harder than a Prisma. So if you are used to the soft squishiness of a Prisma, you will not be disappointed. However, if you like to be able to hold that point a little bit longer, you can definitely do that. You can definitely squish them together and go squish, 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 or you can layer and keep that tip. I do believe these are a wax-based pencil. However, I've colored many things with them and have not seen any wax bloom, which is great as well. So I don't know if they have a different blend between the wax and the oil, giving the oil a little bit more, but not enough to call it an oil-based pencil, or how they manage to eliminate that. But I don't find a huge amount of wax bloom on any of the pictures that I've colored with it, which is great. So I'm just laying down the darker color first, which is the Orchid Purple. And I'm going into all of our shadow areas of the petals. They just feel so good on the paper. I really like these pencils. They do feel really good in the hand. They feel really good moving on the paper. There's no grittiness to them, which is great. All right, the next color we're going to use is lilac. Typically I make these little flowers pink, but it's good to change every once in a while. The reason for the pictures at the bottom of my swatch chart is so that you can color a little something with a new set, get a feel for the pencils, as well as have a visual record on your swatch chart of how well they blend, how well they work on grayscales, on line art, and that sort of thing. The pictures that I chose for a very specific reasoning. The floral here I chose because it gives you the ability to use a couple of different colors, 2 or 3 colors, to get your shadows and your highlights in, as well as your greens with your shadows and your highlights. The ladybug I chose because it's cute and it is a grayscale where you can use 2 different colors to continue that shadowing on the bug. The butterfly, same reason. It gives you the ability to blend many different colors, and it is a grayscale, so it gives you the how well the pencil does with covering up or blending into that darker ink area. And the rest of the flowers are just pretty. I wanted something pretty. All right, now we're going in with lavender. Again, like I said, the 72 set does have 2 colors that are not in your 120 in the 126 set. Those colors are shortbread and chartreuse yellow. And I did incorporate those into my own 126 set from the 72 set. So my swatch chart does have those incorporated. So if you do choose to use my swatch chart, which I will leave in a link below the video, just remember that those 2 pencils are in there. You're not missing 2 pencils if you don't have the 72 set. So don't worry about that. If you do have the 72 set, just grab those out of the 72 set and incorporate them into your set. Or just skip them and move on with life. I incorporated them because I am going to use them all together. So I'll put the other 70 away for duplicates. So that I have a backup. All right, now we're going to blend this together. So let's take the red off of my blender. Starting in our light, and blend it down to the dark. Up into the dark, down into the dark. And there we have it. Now I'm not going to color this whole area because, like I said, I do have the 72 set, which I did color the whole area. So I do have that reference. And those charts are going to be placed together, so I will be able to reference those pictures. And this picture pretty much will tell me the same thing as the other referenced picture will. That they blend very nicely. They're quite pretty. A lovely set of pencils. And if they do ever come out with a bigger set, I will be definitely there to purchase them. Alright, so I'm going to switch it over to the main camera here so you can take a look at the swatch again and see the pretty purple. So as you can see there, it's very subtle, but there is definitely a highlight, a low light, as well as a medium tone. So we have our white, and as you can see, the white is quite opaque. You can definitely see it on top of that black square. We have our black, our silver, our gold, our yellowish gray, and then into our yellows, into our orangey yellow tones, and then into our oranges, and then into our pinks, our reds, purples, blues, greens, green blues, our greens, browns, grays, and then our fluorescents. A really nice 126 set. And if, like I said, if you have the 72 set, this swatch chart does show 128 pencils because of yellow chartreuse and shortbread. So those two colors there are from the 72 set. So I'll switch you over so you can see a little better. So this one here, yellow chartreuse, and this one here, shortbread, are from that 72 set. Now the reason why they're discontinuing those pencils is because Sunburst Yellow and Shortbread are very, very close together, but they're not identical. Alright guys, with that I would like to say thank you all very much for watching. I hope this has been helpful, at least a little bit informative. And of course, if you want to see a live swatching of the pencils directly from the box, I did do that on Sunday, live on the channel. So if you want to see that directly from the box and the unopening of the box, check out the swatch, live swatch and unboxing from Sunday. I will, of course, link this below the video, so if you do decide that you want to use my chart, you can definitely do so. Alright guys, with that, thank you all very much for watching. Of course, remember to relax, color, and stay safe, everyone. Until next time, bye-bye for now.